The late afternoon sun glinted off the windshield as Jonathan drove. He noticed a frail figure ahead, struggling with two overstuffed grocery bags. Her steps were slow, her shoulders slumped. Something in her posture tugged at his heart. Without hesitation, Jonathan pulled over. He had to help. "Ma'am, can I give you a hand with those?" he asked, his voice gentle and strong. The woman looked up, startled. Then her face softened. "Oh dear," she said, her voice trembling. "That would be such a help." "Thank you, son." Jonathan carefully lifted the bags into his car. He held the passenger door open for her. As she settled into the seat, he noticed a faded photograph dangling from her keychain. It was a young man in uniform. "Where to?" Jonathan asked, his eyes meeting hers in the rearview mirror. He saw a lifetime of stories etched in her wrinkles, a hint of sadness in her eyes. "Just down this road and to the left," the woman replied, her voice gaining strength. "My name is Eleanor, by the way. And yours?" "Jonathan," he responded. "It's nice to meet you, Eleanor." As they drove, Eleanor shared snippets of her life. She spoke of her late husband, her garden, the quiet rhythm of her days. And then, her voice catching, she spoke of her son, Michael, a soldier, gone too soon. Jonathan listened intently, his heart heavy. He had seen the pain of loss reflected in countless faces during his time in the service. He understood the silent ache that lingered long after the bugle played its mournful tune. With each passing mile, a bond formed between them, an unlikely friendship forged in the space between a simple act of kindness and a shared understanding of loss. When they arrived at Eleanor's house, Jonathan carried the groceries inside. He noticed the framed photographs on the mantelpiece, many of them featuring the young man from the keychain. "Michael, he was so brave," Eleanor said, her voice thick with emotion, always putting others before himself. Jonathan's heart skipped a beat. He knew that look of courage, that selfless spirit. He had seen it in the eyes of his brothers in arms. "Where did he serve, Eleanor?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. "Afghanistan," she replied, her eyes welling up. "He was killed in action 5 years ago." Jonathan took a deep breath. He knew what he had to do. He reached into his pocket and retrieved a tarnished dog tag, the metal warm against his palm. "Eleanor," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "I knew your son." Eleanor's eyes widened in disbelief. You knew Michael?" she stammered. Jonathan nodded, his own eyes glistening. He told her about their time together in basic training, about Michael's infectious laugh and unwavering loyalty. He spoke of his friend's bravery, of the day he gave his life for his country. He then gently placed the dog tag in her hand. It was Michael's. Jonathan had carried it with him ever since that fateful day. Eleanor clutched the tag to her chest, tears streaming down her face. It was as if a part of her son had come home. In that moment, their shared grief became a source of solace. Inspired by their connection, Jonathan decided to honor Michael's memory. He knew there were others in the community grappling with similar losses. People who needed someone to lean on, someone who understood their pain. Jonathan started a support group for families of fallen soldiers. He created a space where stories could be shared, tears could flow freely, and memories could be kept alive. Word spread quickly about the group and the Airman who had started it all. Jonathan's simple act of kindness towards an elderly woman had blossomed into something much greater. He had reminded his community that even in the face of immense sorrow, hope and healing could be found in human connection. He had shown them that compassion had the power to unite, to heal, and to inspire a ripple effect of kindness that could touch countless lives. And it all began with a simple act of kindness on a sunny afternoon.